And so now, as we read this Quran, we are enlightened by its beauty, the majesty of these ayats. And you would not know that unless you are reading the Quran as we are instructed to do. If you don't mind, I'd like to say something about Ramadan. This is a very sacred month, not just a month of fasting, but a month of challenging ourselves in a way that after this month, when we take the Eid prayer and feast of joy, after having struggled to complete our 30 days, it brings us to a new day, a new year of our Islam. And so I want to say to those who tried, we thank Allah for you, and you are the beneficiaries of your striving.
Assalamu alaikum, family. Let me know if you can hear me and see me. Man, we ready. We on for part two. We on for part two. Just wanted to come real quick and let you guys know that if you guys want to have anybody come in to the call, because many people have been asking me this, please give them this Canva link. I put together this document yesterday to make this a lot easier for you all, because I know maybe it was a little confusing. Some of you all never use Telegram. So I'm about to put this inside the chat a few times. You can check that out. If you only have the Zoom link, make sure that you read it in full. It goes over the Telegram, how to use the Telegram, and what the Telegram is for. So we're about to get started. So we are going to open up in prayer. Position of prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Surely I'm being turned unto thee, striving to be upright to him who originated the heavens and the earth, and I'm not among the polytheists. Surely my prayer, my sacrifice, my life, and my death are all for Allah, the Lord of the worlds. No associate has he, this I'm commanded, and I'm of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King, there is no God but thee. Thou is my Lord, and I'm thy servant. I've been unjust to myself, and I confess my faults. So please grant me protection against all my faults, for none grants protection against faults but thee. And guide me to the best of mores, for none can guide me to the best of mores but thee. And turn away from me the evil and the indecent mores, for none can turn away from me the evil and the indecent mores but thee. And O Allah, bless Muhammad, and bless the true followers of Muhammad, as thou did bless Abraham and the true followers of Abraham, for surely thou art praiseworthy and magnified. And O Allah, make Muhammad successful, and make the true followers of Muhammad successful, as thou did make Abraham and the true followers of Abraham successful, for surely thou art praised, worthy, and magnified. Ameen.
Is Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister. And Ben tells them.
All right. So we are on part two of reading the Holy Quran. For those of you all who may be behind, we also have the link inside of the Telegram. If you guys do not have a PDF version of this, Sister Randisha just put it inside the Zoom link. So the Zoom chat. So make sure y'all get that. For those who have the Maulana Ali version, Muhammad Ali version, we are on page 63, and we are on part two For those who want to read along. Sister Randisha, if you can get the order of the reading together as well. I know Brother Cam is a reader. I'm sure Brother Khalil. But if you can get that together, we're going to take a few readers. So if you would like to read with us, go ahead and press the number 1 in the chat. And we're going to start with those, with the admins, and then Brother Khalil. Brother Khalil is a veteran. He started with us last year. All right. I'm going to start with part 2, which is the Kaaba as the spiritual core. Section 17. The fools among the people will say, what has turned them into their Qibla, which they had? Say, the east and the west belong only to Allah. He guides whom he pleases to the right path. And thus we have made you an exalted nation, that you may be the bearers of witness to the people, and that the messenger may be a bearer of witness to you. And we did not make that which thou wouldest have to be the Qibla, but that we might distinguish him who follows the messenger from him who turns back upon his heels. And it was indeed a hard test, except for those whom Allah has guided. Nor was Allah going to make your faith to be fruitless. Surely Allah is compassionate, merciful to the people. Indeed, we see the turning of thy face to heaven. So we shall surely make thee master of the Qibla, which thou likest. Turn then thy face towards the sacred mosque. And wherever you are, turn your faces towards it. And those who have been given the book certainly know that it is the truth from their Lord, and Allah is not heedless of what they do. And even if thou shouldest bring to those who have been given the book every sign, they would not follow thy Qibla, nor canst thou be a follower of their Qibla. Neither are they the followers of each other's Qibla. And if thou shouldest follow their desires after the knowledge that has come to thee, then thou wouldest indeed be of the wrongdoers. Those whom we have given the book recognize him as they recognize their sons. And a party of them surely concealed the truth while they know. The truth is from thy Lord, so be thou not of the doubters. Section 18, the Kaaba as the spiritual center. And everyone has a goal to which he turns himself. So vie with one another in good works. Wherever you are, Allah will bring you all together. Surely Allah is possessor of power over all things. And from whatsoever place thou comest forth, turn thy face toward the sacred mosque. And surely it is the truth from thy Lord, and Allah is not heedless of what you do. And from whatsoever place thou comest forth, turn thy face towards the sacred mosque, and wherever you are, turn your faces towards it, so that people may have no plea against you except such of them as are unjust. So fear them not, and fear me, and that I may complete my favor to you, and that you may go aright. Even as we have sent among you a messenger from among you. Oh, I'm sorry. I had the chat turned off. I just realized that. Sorry. Even as we have sent among you a messenger from among you, who recites to you our messages and purifies you and teaches you the book and the wisdom and teaches you that which you did not know. Therefore, glorify me. I will make you eminent and give thanks to me and be not ungrateful to me. All right. We're going to go to Brother King Cam. My bad, y'all. I forgot I had to chat off.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Section 19. Hard trials necessary to establish truth. O you who believe, seek assistance through patience and prayer. Surely Allah is with the patient. and speak not of those who are slain in Allah's way as dead. Nay, they are alive, but you perceive not. And we shall certainly try you with something of fear and hunger and loss of property and lives and fruits, and give good news to the patient, who, when a misfortune befalls them, say, surely we are Allah's, and to him we shall return. Those are they on whom are blessings and mercy from their Lord, and those are the followers of the right course. The Safa and the Marwa are truly among the signs of Allah. So whoever makes a pilgrimage to the house or pays a visit to it, there is no blame on him if he goes round them. And whoever does good spontaneously, surely Allah is bountiful and rewarding, knowing. Those who conceal the clear proofs and the guidance that we revealed, after we have made it clear in the book for men, these it is whom Allah curses, and those who curse them too. Except those who repent and amend and make manifest the truth. These it is to whom I turn mercifully, and I am the oft returning to mercy, the merciful. Those who disbelieve and die while they are disbelievers, these it is on whom is the curse of Allah, and the angels and men of all of them. Abiding therein, their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be given respite. And your God is one God, and there is no God but He. He is the beneficent and merciful. Section 20. Unity must prevail. In the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the alternation of night and day, and the ships that run in the sea with that which profits men, and the water that Allah sends down from the sky, then gives life therewith to the earth after its death, and spreads in it all kinds of animals, and the changing of the winds and the clouds made subservient between heaven and earth, there are surely signs for a people who understand. Yet there are some men who take for themselves objects of worship besides Allah, whom they love as they should love Allah. And those who believe are stronger in their love for Allah. And oh, that the wrongdoers had seen, when they see the chastisement, that power is wholly Allah's, and that Allah is severe in chastising. When those who were followed renounce those who followed them, and they see the chastisement, and their ties are cut asunder. And those who follow will say, if we could but return, we would renounce them as they have renounced us. Thus will Allah show them their deeds to be intense, regret to them, and they will not escape from the fire.
Yes, sir. Thank you. For those of you all who are just now coming on, we are on section 21, prohibited foods. We are on page 73. So we're still in Surah or chapter 2, the cow, section 21, for those who may be a little bit behind. Next reader is Brother Khalil. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You can unmute yourself now.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Can you hear me okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me okay? Okay, yes, sir. Section 21, prohibited foods. O men, eat the lawful and good things from what is in the earth, and follow not the footsteps of the devil. Surely he is an open enemy to you. He enjoins on you only evil and indecency, and that you speak against Allah what you know not. And when it is said to them, follow what Allah has revealed, they say, nay, we follow that wherein found our fathers. What? Even though their fathers had no sense at all, nor did they follow the right way? And the parable of those who disbelieve is the parable of one who calls out to that which hears no more than a call and a cry. Deaf, dumb, blind, so they have no sense. O you who believe, eat of the good things that we have provided you with, and give thanks to Allah if He is whom you serve. He has forbidden you only what dies of itself, and blood, and the flesh of swine, that over which any other name than that of Allah has been invoked. Then whoever is driven by necessity, not desiring, not exceeding the limit, no sin is upon him. Surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. Those who conceal aught of the book that Allah has revealed and take for it a small price, they eat nothing but fire into their bellies. And Allah will not speak to them on the day of resurrection, nor will He purify them, and for them is a painful chastisement. Those are they who buy error for guidance and chastisement for forgiveness. How bold they are to challenge the fire. That is because Allah has revealed the book with truth, and surely those who disagree about the book go far in opposition. Section 22, Retaliation and Bequest. It is not righteousness that you turn your faces towards the east and the west, but righteousness is the one who believes in Allah and the last day and the angels and the book and the prophets, and gives away wealth out of love for Him to the near of kin and the orphans and the needy and the wayfarer, and to those who ask, and to set slaves free, and keeps up prayer and pays the poor rate, and the performers of their promise when they make a promise, and the patient in distress and affliction, and in the time of conflict. These are they who are truthful, and these are they who keep their duty. O you who believe, retaliation is prescribed for you in the matter of the slain, and matter of the slain, the free for the free, and the slave for the slave, and the female for the female. But if remission is made to one by his aggrieved brother, prosecution for bloodwit should be according to usage, and payment to him in a good manner. This is an alleviation from your Lord and a mercy. Whoever exceeds the limit after this will have a painful chastisement. And there is life for you in retaliation, O men of understanding, that you may guard yourselves. It is prescribed for you when death approaches one of you, if he leaves behind wealth for parents and near relatives, to make a bequest in a kindly manner. It is incumbent upon the dutiful. Then whoever changes it after he has heard it, the sin of it is only upon those who change it. Surely Allah is hearing, knowing. But if one fears a wrong or a sinful course on the part of the testator, and affects an agreement between the parties, there's no blame on him. Surely Allah is forgiving, merciful.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We are on section number 23, fasting. And the next reader is Sister Talia.
Fasting. O you who believe, fasting is prescribed for
Real
you
quick,
as it
are you on Bluetooth?
Yes.
Yeah, you may have to come off Bluetooth. It's really hard to hear when you guys are on Bluetooth.
Okay. Let's see. Sorry about that. I didn't know. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, ma'am. A lot better. There we go.
Thank you. O you who believe, fasting is prescribed for you as it were prescribed for those before you, so that you may guard against evil. For a certain number of days. Okay. For a certain number of days, but whoever among you is sick or on a journey, he shall fast a like number of the other days. And those who find it extremely hard may effect redemption by feeding a poor man. So whoever does good spontaneously, it is better for him, and that you fast is better for you, if you know. The month of Ramadan is that in which the Quran was revealed, a guidance to men and clear proofs of the guidance and the criterion. So whoever you is present in the month, he shall fast therein. And whoever is sick on it or on a journey, he shall fast a like number of other days. Allah desires ease for you, and he desires not hardship for you. And he desires that you should complete the number and that you should exalt the greatness of Allah for having guided you and that you may give thanks. And when my servant asks thee concerning me, surely I am nigh. I answer the prayer of the suppliant when he calls on me, so that they should hear my call and believe in me, that they may walk in the right way. It is made lawful for you to go into your wives on the night of the fast. They are an apparel for you, and you are an apparel for them. Allah knows that you acted unjustly to yourselves. So he turned to you in mercy and removed the burden from you. So now be in contact with him and seek what Allah has ordained for you. And eat and drink until the whiteness of the day becomes distinct from the blackness of the night at dawn. Then complete the fast till nightfall. And touch them not while you keep the mosque. Keep to the mosque. These are the limits of Allah, so go not near them. Thus does Allah make clear his messages for men that they may keep their duty. And swallow not up your property among yourselves by false means, nor seek to gain access thereby to the judges, so that you may swallow up a part of the property of men wrongfully while you know. Section 24, the fighting in defense. They ask thee of the new moons. Say, they are times appointed for men and for the pilgrimage. And it is not righteousness that you enter the houses by their backs, but he is righteous who keeps his duty. And go into the houses by their doors and keep your duty to Allah, that you may be successful. And fight in the way of Allah against those who fight against you, but be not aggressive. Surely Allah loves not the aggressors. And kill them wherever you find them, and drive them out from where they drove you out. And persecution is worse than slaughter. And fight not with them at the sacred mosque until they fight with you in it. So if they fight you in it, slay them. Such is the recompense of the disbelievers. But if they desist, then surely Allah is forgiving and merciful. And fight them until there is no persecution, and religion is only for Allah. But if they desist, then there should be no hostility except against the oppressors. The sacred month for the sacred month, and retaliation is allowed in sacred things. Whoever then acts aggressively against you, inflict injury on him according to the injury he has inflicted on you, and keep your duty to Allah. And know that Allah is with those who keep their duty. And spend in the way of Allah, and cast not yourselves to perdition with your own hands, and do good to others. Surely Allah loves the doers of good. And accomplish the pilgrimage and the visit for Allah. But if you are prevented, send whatever offering is easy to obtain, and shave not your heads until the offering reaches its destination. Then, whoever among you is sick or has an ailment of the head, he may effect a compensation by fasting or alms or sacrificing. And when you are secure, whoever profits by combining the visit with the pilgrimage should take whatever offering is easy to obtain. But he who cannot find an offering should fast for 3 days during the pilgrimage and for 7 days when you return. These are 10 days complete. This is for him whose family is not present in the sacred mosque. And keep your duty to Allah, and know that Allah is severe in requiting evil.
Praise Praise be to Allah. Thank you. For those who are just tuning in, we are on section 25, the pilgrimage. That is page 88 of your book. We're still in Surah 2. We're about to go into Ayat 197. While you guys are catching up with that, Sister Randisha has put the Quran inside of our Zoom chat, and just want to give y'all a report. We're about 50 people away from 500 people again. Day 2, tuning in live, hearing the Holy Quran and participating in Ramadan with us. So all praise is due to Allah. Let's keep this thing rolling and growing. So the next reader we have, Sister Randisha, is Sister Mother Nani is up next for section 25.
Section 5, the pilgrimage. The months of the pilgrimage are well known, so whoever determines to perform pilgrimage in them, there shall be no immodest speech, nor abusing, nor altercation in the pilgrimage. And whatever good you do, Allah knows it. And make provision for yourself, the best provision being to keep one's duty. And keep your duty to me, you people of understanding. It is no sin for you that you seek the bounty of your Lord. So when you press on from Arafat, remember Allah near the holy monument, and remember him as he guided you, though before you were certainly in error. Then hasten on from where the people hasten on, and ask the forgiveness. Surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. And when you perform your devotions, extol Allah as you extolled your fathers, rather a stronger extolling. But there are some people who say, "O Lord, give us good in the world," and for such there is no portion in the hereafter. And there are some among them who say, "Our Lord, grant us good in this world and good in the hereafter, and save us from the punishment of the fire." For those there is a portion on account of what they have earned. And Allah is swift in reckoning. And remember Allah during the appointed days. Then whoever hastens off in 2 days, it is no sin for him. And whoever stays behind, it is no sin for him. For one who keeps his duty, and keep your duty to Allah, and know that you will be gathered together to him. And among the people is he whose speech about the life of this world pleases you, and he calls Allah to witness as to what is in your heart. Yet he is the most violent of adversaries. And when he holds authority, he makes effort in the land to cause mischief in it and destroy crops and offspring. And Allah does not love mischief. And when it is said to him, "Be careful of your duty to Allah," pride carries off to sin. So hell is sufficient for him, and certainly evil is the resting place. Among people is he who sells himself to seek the pleasure of Allah, and Allah is compassionate to the servants. O you who believe, enter into complete peace and do not follow the footsteps of the devil. Surely he is your open enemy. But if you slip after clear arguments have come to you, then know that Allah is mighty wise. Then only wait that Allah should come to them in the shadows of the clouds with angels, and the matter has already been decided. And to Allah are all matters returned. Section 26, Trials and Tribulations. Ask the children of Israel how many a clear sign we gave them. And whoever changes the favor of Allah after it has come to him, then surely Allah is severe in retribution. The life of this world is made to seem attractive to those who disbelieve, and they mock those who believe. And those who keep their duty will be above them, and Allah gives to whom he pleases without measure. Mankind is a single nation, so Allah raised prophets as bearers of good news and as warners, and he revealed with them the book with truth, that it might judge between people in that in which they differed. And none but the very people who were given it differed about it after clear arguments had come to them, envying one another. So Allah has guided by his will those who believe to the truth about which they differ, and Allah guides who He pleases to the right path? Or do you think that you will enter the garden while there has not yet come upon you the like of what befell those who have passed away before you? Distress and affliction befell them, and they were shaken violently, so that the messenger and those who believed with him said, when will the help of Allah come? Now surely with the help of Allah is near. They ask you as to what they should spend. Say whatever wealth you spend, it is for the parents and the near of kin and the orphans and the needy and the traveler. And whatever good you do, Allah surely is knower of it. Fighting is ordained for you, though it is disliked by you. And may it be that you dislike a thing while it is good for you, and it may be that you love a thing while it is harmful for you, and Allah knows while you do not know.
Yes, ma'am. Brother Russell. Yes, ma'am. We are on section 27. Brother Russell.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum.
Miscellaneous questions. They asked D about fighting in the sacred months. Say fighting in it is a grave offense and hindering men from Allah's way and denying him and the sacred mosque and turning its people out of it are still graver with Allah. And prosecution is graver than slaughter. And they will not cease fighting you until they turn back from your religion, if they can. And whoever of you turns back from his religion, then he dies while an unbeliever. These it is who works go for nothing in this world and the hereafter. And they are compassions, and they are the companions of the fire. Therein they will abide. Those who believed and those who fled their homes and strove hard in Allah's way, these surely hope for the mercy of Allah, and Allah is forgiving and merciful. They ask thee about intoxicants, and games of chance. Say, and both of them is a great sin and some advantage for men, and their sin is greater than their advantage. And they ask thee as to what they should spend. Say what you can spare. Thus does Allah make clear to you the messages that you may ponder on this world and the hereafter. And they ask thee concerning the orphans, say to set right their affairs is good. And if you mix with them, they are your brethren. And Allah knows him who makes mischief from him who sets right. And if Allah pleased, he would have made matters difficult for you. Surely Allah is mighty wise. And marry not the adulteress until they believe. And certainly a believing maid is better than an adulteress, even though she please you. Nor give believing women in marriage to adulterers until they believe. And certainly a believing slave is better than an adulterer, even though he please you. These invite to the fire, and Allah invites to the garden and to forgiveness by his will, and he makes clear his messages to men that they may be mindful. Section 28, divorce. And they ask thee about menstruation, say it is harmful. So keep aloof from women during menstruation, menstrual dis, di- discharge, and go not near them until they are clean. But when they have cleansed themselves, go into them as Allah has commanded you. Surely Allah loves those who turn much to him, and he loves those who purify themselves. Your wives are a tithe for you, so go in to your tithe when you like, and send good beforehand your before beforehand for yourself, and keep your duty to Allah, and know that you will meet him, and give good news to the believers, and make not Allah by your oaths a hindrance to your doing good and keeping your duty and making peace between men. And Allah is hearing, knowing. Allah will not call you to account for what is vain in your oaths, but he will call you to account for what your hearts have earned. And Allah is forever forbidding,
Forgiving.
forbearing. Okay, it says forbearing in mine.
Does it
Or
say
forgive.
forgiving, forbearing?
Yes, that's Allah is forgiving, forbearing. Those who swear that they will not go into their wives should wait 4 months. Then, if they go back, Allah is surely forgiving, merciful. And if they resolve on a divorce, Allah is surely hearing, knowing. And the divorced women should keep themselves in waiting for 3 courses, and it is not lawful for them to conceal that which Allah has created in their wombs, if they believe in Allah and the last day, and their husbands have a better right to take them back in the meanwhile, if they wish for reconciliation. The women have rights similar to those against them in a just manner. The men are a degree above them, and Allah is mighty wise.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for reading. We are on section 29, divorce. Up next, I don't know who iPhone is, so we need a name for them. So let's go to Sabrina 2X and then let's get a name for iPhone. Sister Sabrina 2X.
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Ben. I'm sorry. Was the one for reading? I pushed it by accident. I apologize.
Yes, ma'am. Do you want me to skip you?
Yes, please, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Let's go to Sister Ebony 2X, 2B.
Thank you.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum.
Section 29, divorce. Divorce may be pronounced twice, then keep them in good fellowship or let them go with kindness. And it is not lawful for you to take any part of what you have given them, unless both fear that they cannot keep within the limits of Allah. Then, if you fear that they cannot keep within the limits of Allah, there is no blame on them for what she gives up to become free thereby. These are the limits of Allah, so exceed them not. And whoever exceeds the limits of Allah, these are the wrongdoers. So if he divorces her the third time, she shall not be lawful to him afterwards until she marries another husband. If he divorces her, there is no blame on them, both if they return to each other by marriage. If they think that they can keep within the limits of Allah, and these are the limits of Allah which He makes clear for a people who know. And when you divorce women and they reach their prescribed time, then retain them in kindness or set them free with kindness, and retain them not for injury, so that you exceed the limits. And whoever does this, he indeed wrongs his own soul. And take not Allah's message for a mockery, and remember Allah's favor to you, and that which He has revealed to you of the book, and the wisdom, admonishing you thereby. And keep your duty to Allah, and know that Allah is the knower of all things. Section 30. Remarriage of divorced women and widows. And when you divorce women and they end their term, prevent them not from marrying their husbands if they agree among themselves in a lawful manner. With this is admonished he among you who believes in Allah and the last day. This is more profitable for you and purer. And Allah knows while you know not. And mothers shall suckle their children for 2 whole years, for him who desires to complete the time of suckling. And their maintenance and their clothing must be borne by the father according to usage. No soul shall be burdened beyond its capacity. Neither shall a mother be made to suffer harm on account of her child, nor a father on account of his child. And a similar duty devolves and the father's heir. But if both desire weaning by mutual consent and counsel, there is no blame on them. And if you wish to engage a wet nurse for your children, there is no blame on you, so long as you pay what you promised according to usage. And keep your duty to Allah, and know that Allah is seer of what you do. And as for those of you who die and leave wives behind, such women should keep themselves in waiting for 4 months and 10 days. When they reach their term, there is no blame on you for what they do for themselves in a lawful manner. And Allah is aware of what you do. And there is no blame on you respecting that which you speak indirectly in the asking of such women in marriage, or keep the proposal concealed within your minds. Allah knows that you will have them in your minds, but give them not a promise in secret unless you speak in a lawful manner, and confirm not the marriage tie until the prescribed period reaches its end. And know that Allah knows what is in your minds, so beware of Him, and know that Allah is forgiving and forbearing.
All right. Section 31. Everyone, we are on Section 31, page 107, provision for divorced women and widows. Up next, we have Sister Diabra. All right, let's go to Brother Remus.
Yes, sir. All right. Everyone. There is no blame. Can you hear me okay, bro?
Yes, sir.
Okay, beautiful. There is no blame on you if you divorce a woman while yet you have not touched them, nor appointed for them a portion, and provide for them the wealthy according to his means, and the straitened according to his means, a provision according to usage. This is a duty on the doers of good. And if you divorce them before you have touched them, and you have appointed for them a portion, pay half of what you have appointed, unless they forego or he foregoes, in whose hand is the marriage tie. And it is nearer to dutifulness that you forego, nor neglect the giving of free gifts between you. Surely Allah is seer of what you do. Guard the prayers in the most excellent prayer, and stand up truly obedient to Allah. But if you are in danger, say your prayers on foot or on horseback. And when you are secure, remember Allah as He has taught you what you knew not. And those of you who die, leave wives behind, should make a bequest in favor of their wives, of maintenance for a year without turning them out. Then, if they themselves go away, there is no blame on you for what they do of lawful deeds concerning themselves. And Allah is mighty, wise. And for the divorced women, provision must be made in kindness. This is incumbent on those who have regard for duty. Allah thus makes clear to you his messages that you may understand. Section 32, fighting in the cause of truth. Hast thou not considered those who went forth from their homes, and they were thousands, for fear of death? Then Allah said to them, die. Then he gave them life. Surely Allah is gracious to people, but most people are not grateful. And fight in the way of Allah, and know that Allah is hearing, knowing. Who is it that will offer to Allah a goodly gift, so he amplifies it to him manifold? And Allah receives and amplifies, and to him you shall be returned. Hast thou not thought of the leaders of the children of Israel after Moses, when they said to a prophet of theirs, raise up for us a king, that we may fight in the way of Allah? He said, may it not be that you will not fight if fighting is ordained for you? They said, and what reason have we that we should not fight in Allah's way, and we have indeed been deprived of our homes and our children? But when fighting was ordained for them, they turned back, except a few of them, and Allah is knower of the wrongdoers. And their prophet said to them, surely Allah has raised Saul to be a king over you. They said, how can he have kingdom over us while we have a greater right to kingdom than he? And he has not been granted abundance of wealth. He said, surely Allah has chosen him above you and has increased him abundantly in knowledge and physique. And Allah grants his kingdom to whom he pleases. And Allah is ample giving, knowing. And their prophet said to them, surely the sign of his kingdom is that there shall come to you a heart in which there is tranquility from your Lord, and the best of what the followers of Moses and the followers of Aaron have left, the angels bearing it. Surely there is a sign in this for you if you are believers.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We are on section 33. Did y'all get that message I just sent in the app, y'all? Did that come through? I don't know if it did or not. But we are on section 33, fighting in the cause of truth. Up next, we have Sister Diabra. Let's try again.
Section 33, fighting in the cause of truth. So when Saul set out with the forces, he said, surely Allah will try you with a river. Whoever drinks from it, he is not of me. And whoever tastes it not, he is surely of me, except he who takes a handful with his hand. But they drank of it, save a few of them. So when he had crossed it, he and those who believed with him, they said, we have today no power against Goliath and his forces. Those who were sure that they would meet their Lord said, how often has a small party vanquished a numerous host by Allah's permission? And Allah is with the steadfast. And when they went out against Goliath and his forces, they said, our Lord, pour out patience on us and make our steps firm and help us against the disbelieving people. So they put them to flight by Allah's permission, and David slew Goliath, and Allah gave him kingdom and wisdom and taught him of what he pleased. And were it not for Allah's repelling some men by others, the earth would certainly be in a state of disorder. But Allah is full of grace to the worlds. These are the messages of Allah. We recite them to thee with truth, and surely thou art of the messengers. Part 3. We have made some of these messengers.
No, that's
to
it.
excel
That's it.
others.
That's it. We do.
Oh, that's right. It is. Allahu Akbar.
Praise be to Allah. We have completed day 2 of our reading of the Quran. Y'all don't go nowhere. Now we about to do feedback. She say, shoot, I'm about to go on to part 3 today. Praise be to Allah. I would like to announce, family, as we close that out, we have 520 people watching and listening live. Man, this thing is beautiful. Sister Randisha said last year we had 13 people on this bad boy. 13, y'all. Now we got 520 people learning and doing Ramadan with us. So, man, this is beautiful, man. Wow. So now we're about to go into our feedback. So if you have something that stood out for you, something that you would like to share, go ahead and press the number 9 at this time, and we're going to do a queue. And we want to hear from y'all. And those of y'all, listen, those of y'all who've been in the nation a while, or you've been in Islam for a while, and you have heard how some of these verses have been broken down and the meaning of them, listen, don't be shy. Please come on and let's educate. We got so many new people that's doing Ramadan for the first time. If you're doing Ramadan for the first time, press the number 1 in the chat. Watch this. If you're doing Ramadan for your very first time, go ahead and press the number 1 inside of the chat. Look at that, y'all. So don't be holding back. Don't be saying, well, I ain't got nothing I can say. Even if it's something we think is just so small, we don't know how we're going to impact somebody who don't know. So please don't be shy this morning and y'all ready to leave and all that because we done read the Quran. No, stay around. Share something that you don't know. Look at all these number 1s. So go ahead. We're gonna let's give me the cue, Sister Randisha. First, we're gonna do Sister Shireen.
Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Kareem.
So this is so beautiful. Normally I don't like to do Ramadan reading with other people because I like to do my own reading. And I still did my own reading, but I listened in. So this is a unique experience for me. I would just like to say that it's beautiful when we actually take the time to ingest what Allah has already given us to sustain our families. And He's even given us a way to break up and be in peace, when things do go awry. And if our communities would, number one, not rush into relationships with people based on superficial things, how they look, what car they drive, where they live, but take the time to actually know another person's belief system. Is it consistent with what I believe? And then if things still don't work out, even if cross all the boxes and you check everything, sometimes still things go wrong, but there's a way to do things without making a complete mess of everything and getting everybody all cuckoo crazy, taking sides and things. So that's it. Assalamu alaikum. Have a great day.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you, ma'am. Who's up next? Brother King Cam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Oh man, the first verse that stood out to me was the verse that mentioned Allah being gracious. However, we are not grateful. And it just made me think about, as a matter of fact, let me pull it up because I want to make sure I got it right here. But it made me just think about the importance of being grateful and being humble. Because oftentimes we get up and we go about our day and we don't really think about how gracious Allah has been towards us. Surah 2:243. We don't really think about how Allah has blessed us. And it says, "Hast thou not considered those who went forth from their homes, and they were thousands, for fear of death? Then Allah said to them, Die. Then He gave them life. Surely Allah is gracious to people, but most people are not grateful." Ingratitude. Because we sit around and we complain about so many things, and we don't understand how blessed we really are, and we don't look at how Allah is blessing us even in our dissatisfaction, even when we are upset about something. We don't think about the the graciousness that Allah has blessed us with and blessed our people with in certain times. So, that's one of the things that stood out to me is, let's try to remove as much ingratitude from our hearts and from our minds as possible, because we could be somewhere in another part of the earth where there's no food. The minister talked about this yesterday. We're going to be struggling through Ramadan, but at the end of the day, we get to break our fast. We're going to be struggling through, and at the end of the day, we're going to have access to drink clean running water. But there are people who don't have clean water to drink. There are people who don't have food to eat, and they are struggling and don't know where their next meal is coming from. But we sit around and are ungrateful at the mercy and graciousness of Almighty God Allah. As the minister mentioned, we're planning our days of entertainment while others are struggling and fighting for their lives. So if we're not compassionate to the struggle and the hurt and the pain of others, then we are a really sick people. So, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Great point. Great point. One of the things that stood out for me is Surah. Well, I guess we've been in Surah 2. Ayat 177, where it says, "It is not righteousness that you turn your faces towards the east and the west, but righteous is the one who believes in Allah." So it's given is the one who believes in Allah and the last day and the angels and the book and the prophets and gives away wealth out of love for him to the near of kin and the orphans and the needy and the wayfarer and to those who ask and set slaves free. Sound like that's in contrary to what they teach us in the movies, ain't it? Sound like that's a little contrary to what they teach us on social media and TV shows about the Muslims. Let me read it again just in case you missed it. "But righteous is the one who believes in Allah in the last day and the angels and the book and the prophets and gives away wealth out of love for him to the near of kin and the orphans and the needy and the wayfarer and to those who ask and to set slaves free and keeps up prayer and pays the poor rate and the performers of their promise when they make a promise." So if we just read it, I ain't even gonna go listen. If you just read it for yourself, you will see a lot of stuff people say is actually the opposite. But one of the things that stood out for me is that it says, "It is not righteous that you turn your face towards the east and the west." And what came up to my mind was prayer. Yeah, we can turn to the east, we can pray, but that is the minister teaches us that is a ritual, and the ritual is a reminder of the principle, and the reminder is to keep Allah at the forefront of our mind, right? But righteousness is the things that we are doing. It's not just the turning, it's the things that we're doing. It's the work. And remember, the minister teaches us that work is force times distance. So it's not just applying something or going out to do something, it's having distance, it's changing lives, it's uplifting lives. So this is what it looks like to be righteous. So take a little screenshot of that. That's one of the things that stood out for me. Is that he's laying out the things that actually what it looks like to be righteous, what the work looks like, because many people argue online about what the work is and who's doing this and who's doing that, but Allah has given us his coloring or his perspective on the criteria and standard of what righteousness looks like and what it is. All right, so let's go to Sister Ebony.
So what stood out to me is actually part of what the surah that you just mentioned. But before that, in section 19, it starts off as O you who believe, seek assistance through patience and prayer. And then it ends off as surely Allah is with the patient. And that stood out to me, like the patient, because I think that's like that's a very important attribute that we should have, like with ourselves, especially like, during Ramadan, and especially those of us who, it might be our first or our second Ramadan, like have patience with ourselves in fasting, in keeping up prayer and keeping up, our reading and stuff like that. But also remembering that, as we go through trials, as we go through struggles, in various degrees and situations, that, Allah is with the patient. Allah, knows our heart and understands, what we're going through, but it's for us to be steadfast. And again, it was mentioned again in the surah that you read, where it says, well, you read the beginning, but the end, it goes, and talking about, like, what's righteous, and it says the patient in distress and affliction and in the time of conflict. So just keeping that reminder that, like, Allah's promise is true, Allah will see us through. But we just have to, keep our eyes on Allah, keep our heart in, that righteousness, and just be patient. And, I know this is the Quran, but even in the Bible, it says, the first thing that love is patient, so just keeping a reminder of that to ourselves, to our brothers, to our sisters, to our children, and just know that, Allah is aware of our patience as well.
Yes, ma'am. All right, let's go to Brother Remus.
Man, yes, sir, big brother. Goodness, y'all, I'm full this morning. Woo! Let me go to, I like what both everybody has said so far. So I'm like, man, what do I want to say? Patient with our people. It started off by talking about section 17. The fools among the people will say, what has turned them from their Qibla, which they had? As I read these words, and having been in the nation 29 years, reading these words and the levels of how it sinks in, you spoke about earlier, those that have been around for a minute, and hearing the minister and knowing that we have Master Farad Muhammad came to us. So some would say, y'all are practicing shirk. Y'all over there, you done turned to something other than what we turn to. And it's so rich when we have experiences looking at the minister, and we just came from a Savior's Day, and some would say we've turned to something other than Mecca, turned to something other than the black stone. And we've heard the minister talk about we are that black stone. And so the guidance, as you read these lessons from the Quran, as I'm reading them, from 1400 years ago, but the minister has often said this applies to us today. And so it was so rich, Brother Ben, and everybody in here, to read on, like Brother said, it's not righteousness that you do these things, and it tells you what is righteousness. Who is in good standing with Allah is what I took from it. Truthful and keep their duty. And we all have a duty. And, we're all believers. And the minister said it's our nature. So many of us just don't know. We don't know the Quran. And I see all the ones in there, and there's a sense of obligation because what we say matters. And I've listened to Minister, oh my God, Minister Akbar, so many people in the nation's history is so rich, but they've done these kinds of things that we're doing today. They've explained these words in Ramadan, and you listen in and you hear their explanation and how it relates to us today as we move out with our people, like the sister said, with patience, because they don't know. A few days ago, we didn't know, Brother Ben. And so we are so new in what Allah has given us for the planet. And there was one part I wanted to focus in on, 213. Mankind is a single nation. So Allah raised prophets as bearers of good news and as warners. And he revealed with them the book with truth, that it might judge between people concerning that in which they differed. Our people differ right now. Our people in the social media, oh, the Hebrew Israelite, the Old Testament, and they different, the Christian, and all through the Quran. And we read from day one, yesterday, this book, there is no doubt in it, is a guide to those who believe. Our people in their nature, they believe. They just don't have these words. They don't have the exact understanding. But they believe in something and they keep on pushing. But it's so beautiful to have these words to guide us. And that stood out. I'm gonna pass the mic because so many things stood out. But I just want to say in closing, yeah, that we have been guided, and it's so beautiful to see the minister and then read the Quran and see what Prophet Muhammad went through, see what Jesus, see what all the prophets went through, and then to see us today going through it right now. That we, to me, are that new Qibla, that we are that black stone. We are the manifestation of all of this coming to a head now. And now the world is looking at us. So we have to be patient. We have to put all of this into our people, into the planet, because in truth, we have this supreme wisdom that helps us understand all of this as the Middle East is going through purification right now. Somebody got to re-inhabit that one day. And I know Allah's preparing us. So that's what I took from it, brother.
Praise be to Allah. Man, I would like to share, and I think this is going to be good for those who have heard things about Islam and the Quran, but you're now hearing it for yourself. You have heard, we read today, that Allah what? Hates the aggressor. Now, the world will have you thinking that all the Muslims is aggressive. They're forceful, when it actually says there's no compulsion in religion, meaning that we don't force it. It's not forced. It says here, it says, "Oh, you who believes," this is 178. No, I'm not on mute. Y'all can hear me, right? It says 178. "Oh, you who believe, retaliation, not aggression. Retaliation is prescribed for you in the matter of the slain." Okay? So that's in the matter of murder. Retaliation is prescribed. Then when you skip over to 189, it goes into section 24, fighting in defense. So it's always talking about self-defense, not being the aggressor, right? So look, they ask thee of the new moon, say, they are times appointed for men and for pilgrimage. And it is not righteousness that you enter the houses by their backs, but he is righteous who keeps his duty and goes into the houses by their doors. Then it goes down to 190 where it says, and fight in the way of Allah against those who fight against you. But be not aggressive. Surely Allah loves not the aggressors. Then it goes and says, and kill them wherever you find them and drive them away from where they drove you out. And persecution is worse than slaughter. And fight not with them in the sacred mosque until they fight with you in it. So if they fight you in it, slay them. Such is the recompense of the disbelievers. Watch this. But if they desist, then surely Allah is forgiving and merciful, and fight them until there is no persecution in religion, is only for Allah. But if they desist, then there should be no hostility except against the oppressors. Now, does that sound like aggression to you? Does that line up with what they teach us and show us in the movies about Islam?
No, sir.
So when we read that, that's what stands out for me is how the propaganda, man, that we had before we able to read this for us. I don't know about you guys, but I reverted, so I accepted it. So before this, you hearing movies, Muslim, they just say Allahu Akbar and blowing everything up. They're aggressive, they dangerous. Allahu Akbar just simply means God is the greatest. Because of the condition that they're in, they have nothing else to fight with. They're doing these things, but that doing it as the aggressor or the extremist is not a representation of what Islam is and what is teaching us here in the book. So look, fight with those who fight with you. And what people do online is they quote Surah 191. I've had to defend this before back in the day. Somebody who was a YouTuber, they gave 191, which 191 says, and look at what the Muslims do. Look at what they say. They say, do this to the non-believers, how they hype it up on YouTube. Yeah, and I can't believe they got y'all doing this. And to the non-believers, they say, and kill them where you find them and drive them out from where they drove you out. Right? So they'll give you that. And they know we don't read. They know we're not going to look at, well, what did it say before that? What did it say after that? But if you read right before that, it's literally saying, fight with those who fight with you. And be not the aggressor. Surely Allah hates the aggressor. But they will literally give us Surah 191 that says, well, Muslims were taught to kill them where they find them, disbelievers. So hopefully I was able to give some clarity and by bringing that up, because that's definitely a surah. And I mean, it's been on TikTok. People have used it on YouTube, Facebook to deceive people about what it's saying. But today and this morning, you're able to get a clear understanding for yourself what it's actually saying. All right. Next up, we have Brother Demi.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum to all my brothers and sisters all over the world. What really stood out for me was really everything, bro. I had closed and went to our next section for tomorrow. But just trials and tribulations. And one key thing that I've always gotten out of reading the Quran throughout, from being a little one to now, is the reminder, things that are repeated. And when we read this book, we have everything that's in place as far as the law. In this morning's reading, we hear about divorce and how to handle things. So whenever there's something that's coming up in our lives, anyone new on the panel this morning is able to see that this book, even some things that was read yesterday morning, this book is most definitely reminding you, continually reminding you of Allah's mercy, which should not be taken for granted, but also of how to conduct life, because this is law. So I just wanted to share that because Brother Cam mentioned something, you yourself, Brother Ben mentioned some things that just touched me, but I'm hearing these things over and over and over just to remind you and remind us about how we should live life and how Allah, God, wants us to live life. So thank you, dear Brother Ben, for allowing me to share.
Praise be to Allah. Brother Craig.
Hey, assalamu alaikum, my brothers and sisters. Just, I've been trying to get on this journey to be closer with Allah, and it's interesting. It's like Saturday morning. I was up at 4:30 trying to find a good mosque to go to for the first time, and then I turn on my IG, and then Brother Ben, there you go. Hey, type in the word nation. So all praise due to Allah that I was able to find a family and community, because this is helping me a lot. The scriptures was great, but I got a lot of knowledge from the comments. Like one thing you said is more of the ritual of keeping the praying. And Brother Ben, I just have a question. When you first started your journey, like I tried to do the fast yesterday and I ended up breaking fast in the day, and I felt very bad. So I feel like when you started it, was it in times that we might have failed per se? Was it your ritual, like to keep Allah in the forefront? And ask maybe a personal question, but how did you like keep the strive saying to do better? I know it's just Allah is patient. So I'm just trying to find that patient that can fight that off and keep more Allah in front of me. So that's the hardest thing I've been going through. So I don't know if when you were first starting this journey, like what kept you Allah in the forefront for you, if you don't mind me asking.
So when you make a mistake and you drink, you may eat something, you can make that day up, right? So you can make the day up at the end. So let's say, for example, you broke today. When everybody else ends, you just do an extra day. So you make it up. Or you can feed the poor. I hope you guys are, I seen some of you guys asking, what if I take medicine? What if I'm this? What if I'm that? In the Quran, y'all heard today in the fasting section, it says if you're sick, then you just make up a like number of days, or Allah understands that part if you're sick. So don't be sitting here saying, I'm fasting, but you ain't took your medicine. Take your medicine, please. But yeah, you just make that up. And how I strive to keep Allah at the forefront of my mind, man, is to not separate my life from the mission. So I found a way to my lifestyle involves the mission. So Allah is always on my mind. Like I'm forced to have it. The power call is every morning. My digital real estate course is not just about money. It's about self-improvement. So it's always on my mind. So I just try to combine it. Some people separate it. Like some people used to ask me, well, how do you do this? In the teachings, I said, I don't separate. I use them both. Our supreme wisdom says you must learn how to use it to get some benefit while you live. That is luxury, money, good home, friendship of all walks of life. But the beginning says after learning Islam, which is mathematics. Well, scripture says something similar. It says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and all of his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. So I just strive to make sure that everything that I do, the teachings is the foundation. So I'm always having that as a filter in my mind. So when somebody says, well, do y'all pray 5 times a day? I said it yesterday. I may pray 20 times a day. Yeah, it may not be the formal way of doing it, but I'm always in constant communication, thanking them, grateful, questioning, getting, you in constant communication. So the minister was asked, with you traveling so much, how are you able to make yourself? He said, my work is prayer. The minister is in constant work, constant resurrection of the dead. That's better than any so-called, I did the formal prayer. No, he is doing the work of Allah, raising the dead. So that would be how I would answer that question.
Yeah.
Hopefully that answered the question, but
No,
that would be my response.
That is it. Because you said, and one last thing, like you said, and I do pray. Even yesterday, I prayed consistently, and again, it's not formally. Like I don't have the rug yet, I don't do it formally, but I do always talk to Allah and ask Him for the guidance. That does make me feel better. And but yeah, you did. Thank you so much, Brother Reggie, and thank you for having me here.
Brother Ben, may I share something with the brother real quick?
Sure.
Brother, Allah is the most merciful, so have mercy on yourself. I heard Brother Abdul, Brother Akbar, speak on this years ago and consistently when he came to Ramadan. And as I was new, I'm still new, 29 years in, and Message to the Black Man helped me tremendously. But because it's a process, this is a marathon, much more than a 100-yard dash. Many of us are good at the sprints. You know what I mean? I speak for myself. But the marathon is a whole different thing. And I believe when you're real with yourself, brother, like you were with not only yourself, but what you shared with everybody here this morning, so powerful because Allah likes the realness, is what I know. And being truthful, because many will fake the funk, as we say. Many will pretend like they doing all this and all that, but yeah, they gonna come to the end and absolutely, I did everything perfect. If they did, all praise is due to Allah. But the point is that when you have mercy on yourself, it'll be that much easier to be merciful on the next brother, on the next sister, because that's going to be very crucial, in my humble opinion, as we move forward. Because this judgment that I feel Allah is trying to keep us away from judging each other, because we all need mercy, and not to create slackness and weakness and try to be weak. That's not the intent. But the idea is when you fall short, at least you can study self. You can mark time, say, okay, cool. Let me see if I can get it right tomorrow. Let me see if I can wait till, I broke fast at 2:00 in the afternoon. Let me see if I can get to 5:00. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I can get to 3. And so I think that's crucial because you got to live with you the rest of your life. And Allah is with you 24/7. So just be real. And we all coming out of something, going into something else, a whole new direction we pointing in. So it's a process. Be patient with yourself. And I think it'll be helpful because it'll it'll help you be patient with other people because you'll realize, it's quite a thing. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, brother.
Praise be to Allah. For those who are tuning in on the stream, either YouTube or Facebook, click that Canva link that I just sent you. That gives you information about the Telegram. Those of y'all who's wondering, well, how do I press #1? You got to be inside the Zoom. So join the Telegram, and that's how you're going to get access to the Zoom. I want to quote the minister verbatim. I put it inside the Telegram for you guys, but this is what the minister said verbatim to what I was just saying. The question was, how do you manage to balance making up your rakahs and required prayers with such a busy and productive schedule? The minister responded, sometimes I miss the rakahs of my prayer. However, I am constantly in remembrance of Allah. I hope to be perfect in my prayers, but when your work is the work of doing the will of God, that work that you do is also fulfillment of your prayers. Woo! Say, man, the minister cold, man. I listen. Hey, man, I don't know what else to tell you. Minister, boy, he break down that spookism, don't he, boy? All right, let's go to who's up next? With the question about making a mistake or forgetting it. Was the question about making a mistake or forgetting and eating sometimes by accident? Yeah, I think. All right, we got brother Antone.
Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Kareem. Are you on Bluetooth?
No, sir.
You may be covering your mic.
Can you hear me now, sir?
Yeah, that's a little better.
Okay. All praise be to Allah. Now, what stood out to me is when the Quran just spoke about menstruation and women waiting for periods during divorce. A lot of people take that the wrong way, like how it speak about while she on her menstruation, stay away from her, and it's a uncleanliness and all that. People misunderstand that. It's basically only telling us that while the sisters is having a menstruation, don't be trying to have sexual relations with them. But sometimes people read stuff on the surface level and don't dig deeper, and then take it that it's saying that just because she on her menstruation, totally just stay away from her, don't be around her. No, it's basically just saying that while she on her menstruation, don't be trying to have sex with her or anything. And then when it speak about impossibilities of divorce, that the woman should wait 2-3 months or whatever, it's just saying that before you 100% divorce, you want to wait and see if maybe the sister may be pregnant. Because a lot of times the sister could be pregnant and you don't know until a month after or 2 months after. So the Quran is full of wisdom, but sometimes we read words and don't go beneath the surface to really understand. And that's why the English translation is good for us who speak English, but when you get to learning the Arabic and see how one Arabic word could mean 10, 15, 20 different English words, you get to go way beneath the surface level and really understand deeper and deeper of what's being said. All praise be to Allah. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. For those who are also wondering, this is the same Zoom link every single day, by the way, so you guys don't have to go in. And just a reminder, inside the Telegram, be mindful of which chat you're commenting in. Some people,
Brother Ben, you're on mute if you're speaking, big brother.
Oh, dang, my bad. I was saying sometimes, I forgot what I said before that, but I was saying that be mindful of the chat that you are commenting in inside the Telegram. Make sure that if you got a general question, put it in general. If it's not about Ramadan, don't put it in Ramadan. The ready to attend study group, that's only for those who are ready to attend study group. So just be mindful of where you're asking questions and saying certain things. And I was also saying that this is the same Zoom link every morning. So every morning, it's the same Zoom link. So you ain't got to worry about finding the Zoom. All right, let's go to Nathaniel. Well, we're not gonna remove them. We're just gonna remove the comment. Boy, the security on point, boy. Brother, is it Nathaniel? You still here? All right, let's go to Brother King Cam. And we're closing out soon, y'all. Know we gotta do our prayer. We're closing out soon.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I wanted to hammer back off of what you was talking about earlier in Surah 178. As it mentioned, O you who believe, retaliation is prescribed for you in the matter of the slain, the free for the free, and the slave for the slave, and the female for the female. But if remission is made to one by his agreed brother, persecution should be according to the usage. And then later on in the scripture, it mentioned that persecution, that slaughter, I believe, is better than persecution. And the reason why I brought that up because the Holy Quran, as well as the Bible, are books talking about justice. And anytime you see injustice, you should stand up and fight in Allah's way against persecution. And this is what this is telling us and enjoining us to do and letting us know that Allah is with us when we stand up against injustice and when we fight against persecution and we fight against slavery and we fight against oppression. This world will have you to believe that it's something wrong with you because you stand up and speak out against oppressive actions and behaviors. This world will have you to believe that there is something wrong with individuals that have problems if you're speaking about injustices. So the book here in the Bible, as well as in the Holy Quran, is telling you that it is a eye for an eye, slave for a slave, female for a female. Anytime there's an agree, there should be recompense, retribution for that. And I don't want us to be afraid. I don't want us to be weak in our standing up for standing up against injustices, because it teaches us that Allah is with those who are not the aggressors. So as Brother Ben mentioned, is defensive fighting. Well, when you see people standing up against injustice, when you look at us here in America standing up and fighting against the oppressive powers that have besieged us, Allah is with us in that fight. When you see other oppressed communities fighting against that which have oppressed them, Allah is with them in that. So I don't want us to be weak in our standing up against injustice. Don't let people belittle you. Don't let people tell you that it's wrong to speak out against injustice. Don't let people threaten you with anything when it comes to standing up for truth and standing up for justice. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Yes, sir. Nathaniel, we're gonna try you again. Nathaniel, you want to try you again? All right. Let's go to Jones. Jones.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Kareem.
All right. What stuck out to me again, we touched on it 177 when we pretty much was talking about that is your faith, right? Your faith that your works will be counted unto you as righteousness, right? That we can have all the faith, we can turn east and west, we can make the proper prayers like we talked about, but if we're not actually doing the work to carry out the faith, to put our faith into active submission to Allah, right, and carrying out the works that we are actually making a difference in this life, in this world, for us around us, and in any other social group around us, that we actually doing the work, that it means nothing. It means nothing. So we can have it in our hearts. We can have the intentions, but we have to put them to action. We have to get up and we got to move and we got to make it happen. And without that, nothing else happens. So that's what stuck out to me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. All right. 4WM Ray.
Thank you, Brother Ben.
Yes, sir.
I like what you say about that too, because I've been trying to figure that out. Like, I've been reading that part in the Quran about fighting for your faith and stuff, and I'm just thinking about what Minister said yesterday, and think about being you know what I'm saying, getting through the fast and stuff. So I'm thinking about the people in Palestine. And it's like, we all have to not be afraid no more. And I was at the Savior's Day, it's like, yeah, I don't want to be afraid to stand up for the people, because losing your life for righteous is better than not losing, just use your life just doing something foolish. And as we just have to have the courage this year, I mean, for the rest of our life, to stay encouraged to be strong in Ramadan, so we could be able to see everybody else in the world and come up together. That's what I believe. Thank you.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Thank you for sharing. Then we're gonna go to Sister Yatira.
Yes, sir. Is my audio okay? Because I do have Bluetooth on.
Yes, ma'am. You good?
Okay, yes, sir. I just wanted to speak to the aspect of new people being in observing Ramadan for the first time, which is absolutely beautiful. So congratulations to that, and to you for doing that. I wanted to share because this year I will not be able to participate in the fast because of nursing. But I just wanted to share that for years I struggled with that. This is my fourth child. I've been in the nation this year. August will make it 12 years. So just to say this concisely, that I have struggled in the past when it came to the fast, wanting to fast and not being able to, and this year being at peace with knowing that, as it has been stated throughout the Holy Quran and through the conversation today, that Allah desires ease for us, and it is not a punishment or a lesser than. It is actually out of His grace and mercy that He does not put that on the woman to have to go through that additional strain by fasting while nursing a baby, among other things. But I just wanted to share that, embrace those things. If you are a woman going through those different things, to embrace that part of your journey, because there's other things, even by being adamant on participating in your reading or abstaining from other things, giving up things and striving to perfect yourself, coming out of Ramadan a better person, more purified, and keeping your duty to Allah, all these other aspects of it. So just keeping that thing in those things in mind, to be patient with yourself, because that is what Allah desires. He desires ease for us. So I just wanted to share that for our new sisters who may be listening in for their first time or observing Ramadan for the first time. Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak.
Wa alaikum salam, Ramadan Kareem. We're going to close out with Brother Young Khan Adan after Sister Sabrina, and I want to share something from the minister, so don't leave, especially those of you all who are doing this for your first time and you're still new and learning. This video from the minister is going to give you understanding of the prayer. So that's what I want to end out with. Sister Sabrina.
Brother Ben, can I squeeze in there for 30 seconds after sister and after Brother Khan before you get to the minister?
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, beloved.
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Ben. How are you?
Doing fine by Allah's grace. Yourself?
Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Kareem.
Brother Ben, we started this last year. You started it. You had a thought. You put it out. Look at our community.
Man.
Look at our community.
Come on.
Like Sister Radisha said, we started with 13 people. We over 500, probably more for YouTube. But look at us. So you're doing the work. Like I said last year, you're doing the work. You're touching lives. You're touching hearts. A lot of brothers and sisters that's on this call haven't even thought about doing Ramadan. But look how many lives you have touched since last year. You're doing the work. And as every time I come on here, I always say, keep up doing what you're doing. You're doing it. You're touching lives. I mean, like last year was my first Ramadan. So with all that being said, keep doing what you do. Thank you. Thank your wife again, because I know this is time consuming and I know it takes away from the family for you to help all of us to get what we need to be in our lives. So I want to say thank you to her as well. But that's all I got to say. I'm super excited. I know I'm big. I am super excited. 13 people from last year to now, over 500. I'm super excited. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy Savior's Day, family! Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Praise be to Allah. You and Sister Yolanda Must be right down the street from each other. Y'all sound like cousins.
We actually in the same mosque together.
Oh, really? See, I can tell. That's their spirit. I hear it.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Yes, sir. Ramadan
Mosque number,
Mubarak.
that's right. Mosque number 4. All praises be to Allah.
Walaikum salam. Praise be to Allah. Brother Remus.
Yes, sir, beloved. Real quick, I love that energy. I think about Mecca to Medina, and we're talking about the Qibla. When you get into the footnotes and study up on, it was Jerusalem where everybody used to face, and then the Kaaba as the spiritual center, and it was this shift. The Qibla shifted, and I've learned that from Detroit, mosque number 1, to Chicago, mosque number 2 in the Nation of Islam, is the same distance approximately as it is from Mecca to Medina. And I think about this Qibla, again, Master Farad Muhammad, and shifting the Qibla, and with us in the nation, and our focal point, our sole mission is to deliver the 17 million at the time with the 2 million Indians to the Lamb of God. And then, knowing the population of the original people all over the planet Earth, it gives us clarity as we read the Quran, as we understand Prophet Muhammad and all the prophets, but particularly Prophet Muhammad with Ramadan and everything, and the Quran being revealed. And so, but through modern technology, as Sister Sabrina just said, brother, your 13 people, year 1. 500 plus and growing on day 2. We'll see what it ends up on 30 days on the 30th day. But I look at that as year 2, Mosque 2, these parallels. Through modern technology, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, I will get all my people. And I'm here to suggest that you right there, brother. I appreciate you. Keep up the great work. Take the lead, do your part, because the rest of the world really is counting on us. And the minister gave us instructions, and I love what brother said about the internal fighting, standing for injustice. If we can't do that internal fight, ain't no sense talking about getting out there and going blow to blow. So let's take this Quran, this Ramadan real serious. Fight that internal fight of self, and come on out here and let's also go out here and help other people. So I appreciate you, beloved.
Praise be to Allah. And for those who would like to support the power call and the efforts, this is not free. Well, it's free for y'all, but not free for me. Go into the support chat inside of the support tabs, or you can look at that Canva link, go down to the bottom if you guys would like to donate and support. We're going to go to Brother Young Khan Nadan.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Ramadan Mubarak. And I apologize for not having my camera on, but as you could see, Brother Ben, I am fired up in case you thought that I might have been missing out on this great, illustrious Ramadan, brother. I am fired up and ready to go. I did not hear the portion, but I know that more than likely we covered it. My takeaway was ayah 155, where it says, and we shall certainly try you with something of fear and hunger and loss of property and lives and fruit, and give good news to the patient. See, this is a trial for some of us to go without food, to go without something to drink, to go without getting our y'all know what I'm trying to say, getting your groove on, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Touching during the daylight hours. This might be a trial for some of y'all, but when you think about those that sleeping under bridges, when you think about those that don't know where their next meal is coming from, man, you got to give good news to the patient, because after your burning is over, which is what Ramadan means at the end of the day, you can go in the refrigerator. Oh, yeah, you can go order you something from a drive-through, or you can go to your grandmother's house or your aunt's house and you can pick something up. But think about the ones that don't know where their next meal is coming from. Surely we are all being tried with something of hunger and loss of life and diminution of fruit. But if you give good news to the patient and know that Allah has something that makes us stronger, and you don't know what you're made of, family, until you've been tried. You don't know if that TV is going to work when you bring it home until you plug it up. You got to test it out, and we can't be left alone on saying we believe and not be tried by a little bitty old appetite. We got to be the boss of our stomach. We got to be the boss of our low desires. We got to be the boss and not let our bodies control us, but we got to control our bodies. You say, well, Brother Khan, this is my first Ramadan, man, it's kind of hard. Well, if it's hard, you got to do it hard. This ain't harder than 400 years of slavery, suffering, and death to go a couple of hours without putting food in your stomach or drinking a glass of water. Come on, man. We are the greater takers. There's nothing that can be put on us that we don't have the power or the ability to overcome. And with that, I bring my say to a close, man. I just want to let y'all know I'm fired up in this thing. You know, it got to be something powerful to get black people to get up before the sun get up, man. You know, this is powerful right here. So that's my greetings to everybody on this call, man. Salute to y'all. Y'all got what it takes. Day 2, let's get it cracking. Assalamu alaikum.
Brother Coach Khan, y'all, he fired up. I want to read this. This is from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Fast. It cleans the impurities out of the blood and causes the body to eliminate the poison stored in it from previous meals. Sometimes from previous meals of many years, as the folds in our intestines can carry particles of food for a long time and hold strength enough in them to keep us alive for 2 months. Our bodies store food in the folds of the intestines and in the bloodstream. After a fast of 3 days, and from that to 9 days, these particles of food and poison that have accumulated will be eliminated. The blood is being cleansed of its impurities because the impurities have nothing to keep them in power to live. Therefore, they die and leave the person happy and enjoy the results of a healthy body, which is the greatest enjoyment we can have. Now, those of y'all who are aware that we eat 1 meal a day, I want to give you this before we close out this morning. He says this eating 1 meal a day, this will produce good results and lengthen our lives, but children should not be forced to fast or to eat once a day or once every other day. Children and babies should eat at least twice a day. If you are now eating 3 meals a day and you would like to eat 1 meal every other day, you should not all of a sudden change from 3 meals a day every day to 1 meal every other day. First, drop to 2 meals a day, then 1 meal a day, and then 1 meal every other day. It is better to do it this way so that you will not make yourself sick. And if you eat every other day, do not begin your meal with heavy food. So I think that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad even gave us a criteria of how to do many things in our lives. Don't think you just I'm finna go cold turkey from this to this. No, gradually grow. And hopefully you will do that. So let me end off with this from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, this prayer. I'm not this prayer, him explaining the prayer. And I think this understanding is what many of us need so that we're not doing this ritualistically. Oh, I prayed and I did my raka. Because, you know, you're often going to get heard by other Muslims. Well, do y'all pray? And did you do it 5 times? And do you do? Listen, I remember there's a lecture called The Evolution of God, I think. And the minister was saying, well, why do you pray? And he said, they'd be like, I don't know. Why do you pray 5 times a day? I don't know. Why do you put your right on your left? I don't know. So you just, he said, you just, I don't know. So if you're doing all of this, but you don't understand the meaning behind it, you're missing the spirit. You're just going through the motions. So it's like when you used to go to the Baptist church and we drink of the blood and ate the cracker. You eat of that. If you don't know what you're doing, that got meaning behind it. Being baptized, just because I got dipped in the water and I come back out don't mean I'm literally clean. It's symbolic. So if we don't understand the symbolism and the meaning, we're going through this without the right mindset. So hopefully this will help you guys out today. Let me play this and we're going to close on out. Let me find it. Okay, here we go.
You see the Muslim prayer service? Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. What do you mean? What is this? It's teaching a people who rebel against God to surrender. Surrender, man. Stop fighting God. Submit. And don't come on your terms. It's unconditional surrender. Give up. Give up. Allah's messenger Muhammad, peace be upon him, he told them, put your right hand over your left. Clasp it at the midsection. Could you come over here, brother, please? If I grab his wrist, when you take a person's wrist, you got him, and you can turn the person by the wrist. This is the place where you get a good grip. His body goes because the wrist is a weak point. The right hand grasps the left at the wrist. Muhammad was teaching people who lean toward weakness to lean toward the right.
Yes, sir.
Muhammad said, when you hold on to unclean things, hold it with your left hand.
Yes, sir.
When you hold on to clean things, hold it with your right hand. What is he telling the people? I want you, Caucasians, mainly, whose nature leans toward wickedness. I want to train your nature to go in an opposite direction so that you can see paradise and live in the hereafter. Follow me now. Lean to the right. Put your right hand over your left. I want right over left. I want strength over weakness, and clasp it at the navel, because you, Caucasian, live by your appetite, and that's what makes you a beast.
Right. Go ahead. Right.
You don't do what's morally correct, ethically correct. You do what your appetite says.
Right.
I want the oil in the Middle East. I ain't gonna bargain for it. I'll take it. I want the riches of Africa. I won't bargain for it. I won't barter for it. I'll take it.
That's right.
Because I follow my appetite. But Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, take your right hand, grip it over your left, and bear witness that there's none deserving of worship or praise beside Allah. And then I want you to say this prayer. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen Rahmanir Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladina أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Ameen. After you say that and you recite a verse from the Quran, Muhammad says, you say Subhana, glory to my Lord the great, and you bend. And when you say another word, you go down and you say, glory to my Lord, the Most High. And in that position, you are prostrated. What are you teaching us, Prophet Muhammad? I don't want you to bend your head. I don't want you to bend your back. I don't want you to get down on the floor, but this is an exercise to train your will that is resisting my will. Do you hear what I'm saying? Your will is resisting my will. So follow my sunnah, follow my example, and you will become, listen, you will become a Muslim. You don't have to become, you already are. But if they followed his sunnah, they could become Muslim. Come on.
Right, Brother Minister, right?
The 5 pillars of Islam, they are in your nature. You don't have to be taught to pray. You always remember God in your natural state. You don't have to be taught to give. You are always giving, giving, giving. You don't have to be taught to deprive yourself to fast because you know how to do that. Oh, beloved, the principles are a part of your nature. So many Muslims want to criticize the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and they say, are you practicing the principles of Islam? Do you pray? Do you pay zakat? Did you go to Hajj? Oh, please, brothers, yes, yes, yes. If I bear witness that there's no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger, and I submit my will to do the will of God, it's one perfect circle. I gotta worship him, but my worship ain't just 5 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock noon. My worship is every waking moment. My worship is a perpetual prayer to the Lord of the worlds.
Hey, come on, man. Hey, man, we got some heat. We got some heat for you. Ha ha. Golly. Man, if that don't give you no understanding, I don't know what will, family. Man, coming into this truth and you getting that understanding like this, listen, y'all don't know how many people don't have that understanding. Y'all don't know how many people just going through the motion. Okay, yeah, I did it. I know how to do it. But that understanding that the minister just gave us, ooh, what they be saying, that understanding, what they be saying, boy, you know, when you conscious, you know, they understand. Did you understand what the minister just said, man? Golly. I'm going to put that mug inside the group chat. Y'all know I got y'all. I'm going to put it inside the group chat so y'all can have it and study it. But look at that. Don't that give you a deeper understanding of what we're doing in the morning? A deeper understanding of what we're doing throughout the day? And you ain't just doing it just to do it because somebody told you to. Now you can do it with meaning in mind. Now we can do it with the spirit, the right understanding in mind. Woo! So thank y'all for listening, man. I will see you guys, inshallah, tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock Central Time. For those who also don't know, overnight, I play the minister Final Call Radio. So if y'all up early in the morning, y'all can hop on the Zoom hours before and be listening to the minister. So just wanted to let y'all know that just in case y'all didn't know. Before I go to bed, I set the stream up and I have the Zoom already open so y'all can listen to it overnight and early in the morning. So I just want to make y'all
Brother
aware.
Ben, about what time? That's Central Standard Time, of course, right?
Yeah,
Your time?
Yeah, I'm Central Time.
About now, you're saying around 3 or 4 your time, it might be on.
Oh, well, like around 10 o'clock, like before I go to bed, I have it on. So whenever you get up, it'll already be on.
Yes, sir. Thank you, beloved.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
All right, y'all. See you guys tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Is Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister.